Hey, what's going on, guys? So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about being self-taught, watching YouTube videos and courses, and being on Twitter, and having it seem like every developer just ends up being a content creator. Because I think that's something that a lot of people feel, and this is actually a direct response to a specific comment from someone that left this comment on a video on my channel that kind of hit me hard. So I wanted to make a video kind of addressing it. So I'll put the comment on the screen. I'm going to blur the user's name out. But they said, these kinds of videos make me feel like there's no money or jobs in the industry anymore, and everyone should start teaching and doing Instagram or YouTube, which is the exact opposite of why I'm learning web app development. Everyone seems to have the same story as you, got good at what they do, paid well, many job offers, and then left that and began content creation. My question is then, why stop working if everything was great? I really hope that's not the case for the industry, because that means I wasted my time here. Not everyone can and wants to make online content. I want a normal paying job. So like I said, that comment really hit me hard because I don't like the idea, and nothing against this person at all. I mean, I can completely see where they're coming from. It's just that I don't like the idea that someone watched a video on my channel, or anybody's channel for that matter, and felt like maybe this is a waste of time. And the biggest, I'm going to talk a little bit about me and why I chose this route. But before I do that, the biggest point that I want to make is, if you think of all of the YouTubers that create tutorials, any kind of programming tutorials, and you put them all together, it's such a small sliver of the industry. It's such a small sliver of people that know how to code. It's definitely not the most popular route. The most popular route seems to be getting a job at a company as a developer, and then freelancing or being a consultant, things like that, or even just creating your own projects and selling those. So there's a lot of different avenues to take when you learn how to code, and that's why I want to stress that it's not a waste of time. It's never a waste of time. Now, I think that if you're someone that is self-taught and you don't know anybody in the industry, you've never worked in the industry, then all you're seeing is content creators, right? Every developer that you see is a YouTuber or a course creator or someone that wrote an ebook. They're all content creators. And that's what it seems like is happening, is that every developer ends up in the end doing content. But that's not the case at all. That's just what you see because that's what's online. Like I said, the content creators are a very, very small portion of the all the developers in the world or the country or the state, whatever it might be. It just seems like that because that's what you're seeing online. So I don't want anybody to think that doing YouTube is like the end result of learning how to code. It's just one avenue to take, and it's definitely not for everybody. It's not for most people. Now, as far as myself, I can't talk about other content creators and why they do what they do or how they ended up there. But for me, a lot of you do know my story, but I started out freelancing, working for peanuts like most people do. I had a lot of bad experience with clients, but I kept at it, and I ended up, being pretty good at what I did, and got a bunch of really good projects, real client projects that I could put on a portfolio. And I went the job route, worked at as a developer at a company for a while, and it was a good experience. I mean, I learned a lot when it came to working with other developers on a team, because that's something that I had no experience with, something that I found very hard to adapt to. So I learned a lot in that aspect, but I knew I wasn't going to stay there like forever, because that's just not what I personally wanted to do. I know a lot of people do. They strive to work as a high-paying developer at a company, and that's a great goal. It's just not my goal. I always knew I wanted to do my own thing. So I was still freelancing a little bit on the side. I still had, my client base while I was working, and my website that I had at the time ended up doing really well on Google for some really key search terms, and I was getting submissions all the time for new projects. So I made a choice to leave the job and go back to my business, and I was doing even better. I ended up getting a storefront. I hired 2 people. I was outsourcing. I started on Upwork, which was then Odesk, doing work, and then I ended up hiring people from Upwork. So it was doing really well, but at the same time, I was doing YouTube as, on the side. I was working an unhealthy amount of hours back then, if you combine everything. But I was doing YouTube. It was very, very slow to start, and that's the thing when you do content is you work for nothing for a long time before you can actually make any money or become popular, especially nowadays. But I just loved doing it. I loved creating tutorials. I wasn't doing it to be a YouTuber or to be a content creator. I just enjoyed making tutorials. I liked teaching. I liked people telling me that I helped them out. That was really fulfilling. So I kept doing that and, grew my subscriber base a little bit. And I had a company, Eduonics, contact me to do some courses, some, full-length courses. So I got into that. I was making a fixed price per course. And I was making money both with my business and content creation. I was making more at my business, but I liked content creation better. So I had another choice to make between those two, and I chose to go the content route, which was a risk because I was making a lot more with my business, but it just made me a lot happier. It didn't feel like work to do content. So I decided to do that because I could do different projects every day. I could study whatever I wanted. I still have a passion for learning, but it was, a burning passion back then. I loved learning any language or framework that was thrown at me, and I would just reteach everything that I learned. So that's kind of how I just built up my backlog of videos and my content. And eventually I started making my own courses on Udemy and started to do really well, even better than I did with my job, with my freelancing, with anything else. And it just worked out, and it could have went the other way. It could have went to shit and I could have had to go back to freelancing and start over. But I took a risk because that's what I really love to do. I love helping people. When someone tells you that you help them get a job, it's like it's the most fulfilling thing in the world, more than any paycheck. So if I can do that and make money and code and do my own projects, pick whatever I want to learn, I mean, that's my ultimate job. So that's just me personally. It's not for everybody. So I just wanted to explain that everybody has, their passions and what they want to do in life. Some people just want to work for a company, and that's completely respectable, especially if you just love to code and you don't want to deal with videos and editing and responding to comments and tweeting and all that crap. Then that's content isn't for you, and that's fine. So I just wanted to kind of make this video to address that comment because, like I said, it just hit me hard. I don't want people thinking they're wasting their time. I mean, there's plenty out there in all different avenues of tech and coding. But that's it, guys. And then I'm going to cut this short. I just wanted to address that, like I said. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.